to warn us about?
A fucking lunatic, claiming to apparently not be a white supremacist, but thinking that the mainstream media would call him one anyway, specifically saying that Trump isn't to blame for his actions, goes and brutally murders innocent people in a cold, calculated act. Then gets called a white supremacist by the mainstream media, while Democrats go out of their collective hive minds to blame Trump, because of course they would! Meet the hobgoblin of liberal minds. If there was ever any doubt left in anyone's minds about who exactly is looking to divide this country, both ideologically and racially, the events of this past weekend, along with a quick glance at Twitter, should put any of those doubts to bed. But I guess when you're detoxing off that sweet Obama kill all cops and get whitey high, you'll take any and everything you can get your sweaty little liberal hands on. Considering that your supply has been all but cut off, I would recommend abstinence. However, admitting you have a problem is the first step of recovery. But with tweets like this, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
You're such a disgusting, vile organism. I'm not even sure you're a human being. You will never be the man that Barack Obama is. You can only dream of being the leader he was. Barack never promoted hate and violence.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you right there, fellow organism. Everybody seems to be pointing out the number of mass shootings that have happened since Trump has been in the White House, and comparing them to the number of mass shootings during the Obama administration. Only 32 mass shootings during Obama's 8 years. Wow. Only 32, huh? He should be so proud. It is worth noting, though, that 5 of the 12 mass shootings that happened in Obama's first term are among the worst and deadliest mass shootings in American history. Now, that's not mentioning the 25 major race riots, at least 11 cops killed by the divisive rhetoric and its promoting Black Lives Matter, and of course, the chanting of, "What do we want? Dead cops." Which literally led to someone, "Are you ready for this?" killing cops. I just don't understand why these things happened. And what did he do in response? He doubled down. No, he doubled the fuck down hard. He went to the memorials for the slain officers and had the cojones to defend the Black Lives Matter agenda and criticize the police department for being racist while reading off crime statistics designed to not only indict the police but make the members of the very group responsible for murdering those officers out to be the real victims. This is a speech that the mainstream media called his boldest and bravest speech. So, yeah, no bias there. So, fellow organism, tell me again how Obama never promoted hate and violence. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here because I'm a squirrel! And say that if ever a president had blood on his hands or was responsible for the murder of anyone in any way, it would be him.
Data inaccurate. Does not compute. Does not compute.
But I don't like to do that, because I believe the only person responsible for the actions of a lunatic is the lunatic, and you'd have to be a lunatic to think otherwise. So, let's meet the lunatics! The liberal is on the grass.
This president who helped, create the hatred that made Saturday's tragedy possible should not come to El Paso. We do not need more division. We need to heal. He has no place here, man.
Oh, those guys are back!
That's fantastic.
So he has no place here, huh?
Oh, the irony!
Well, Beto male, why don't you practice what you fucking preach? If you don't need more division, then you should, I don't know, let him come, maybe? I don't know, I'm not an expert on the inner workings of human interaction, so... Next!
We need to call out white nationalism for what it is, domestic terrorism. It is a threat to the United States, and we've seen its devastating toll this weekend. We need to call out the president himself for advancing racism and white supremacy.
We need to call out white nationalism for what it is? Okay, great, but what does that have to do with anything that's happened this weekend? So, let's get this straight. By your metric, Trump is to blame for white supremacy and this past weekend's events because reasons! The El Paso shooter specifically mentioned that his feelings on immigration, a big reason he did this, predate Trump. That's B4. BT. I know many people don't like to read the shooter's manifestos, but in this case, it may have saved you all from looking like you don't know what you're talking about!
What a twist!
Oh, fun fact! The Dayton shooter, Connor Betts, did mention someone by name Liz. Actually, 2 people by name directly supporting them. That's right! Liz Pocahontas Warren, saying he'd happily vote for her, and Bernie,
"You fucking kids, get off my lawn!"
Sanders. This kid was a straight-up left-wing nut socialist, saying that I want socialism and I'll not wait for the idiots to finally come around to understanding. Oh yeah, that's not a red fucking flag! Even posting a tweet that you're supposed to say in a Bernie voice, I guess. The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. It also appears as if he was buying into the lies and fear-mongering being circulated by the most trusted name in news. This guy, who looks like he slept on a fucking park bench last night, saying, "Hi, the president wants to shoot migrants at the border." Whoa, that friendly salutation escalated quickly. Jesus Christ. Now, a rational person would probably ask questions like,
"Are you out of your fucking mind?"
While an irrational asshole would probably take this at scruffy face value and think, you know, I need to do something about this violence, hate, and division by joining a violent, hateful, and divisive group. Because, among other things, Betts may be Antifa's first mass killer. Yay!
Let's give us the law!
He's also a Satanist, but apparently these days compared to a Nazi, a Satan worshipper's a fucking Boy Scout. Oh, we got Satan worshippers and commies here? That's cool. Oh wait, no one said there'd be Nazis here too. I'm out, man! But the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about that. That's why the El Paso shooting, or at least the shooter's politics, seem to be overshadowing the Dayton event. Just like the event in Washington where the Antifa member tried blowing up an ICE facility that got overshadowed by a Trump tweet, despite the fact that he specifically mentioned AOC in his manifesto.
Data inaccurate. Does not compute. Does not compute.
Now, imagine if some Nazi tried blowing up a synagogue and left a manifesto mentioning Trump. I mean, holy shit, it'd be birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom, and...
It's the end of the world as we know it.
But amidst all the hubbub...
What's all the hubbub? Bub.
There were some voices not looking to point fingers, but to try to bring people together. Kellyanne Conway tweeted this out. "We need to come together, America. Finger pointing, name calling, and screaming with your keyboards is easy, yet it solves not a single problem, saves not a single life. Working as one to understand depraved evil and to eradicate hate is everyone's duty. Unity. Let's do this." A bipartisan, neutral message. Not calling out the policies of any one side, not calling anyone names, or playing the blame game. And who could argue with that? And I really wish that was a rhetorical question, because Reza Aslan can... tweeting this out. "You are the depraved evil we need to eradicate." Dude! Jesus, you need to smoke some of that dank Beto bud and chill, man. The liberal is on the grass. Of course, Reza is the last guy you want to be around when he gets the munchies. Yeah, this guy ate human brains. But you know what? He is the first person in history to say something didn't taste like chicken. But to find dumb cannibal's own brain wasn't done there. After today, there is no longer any room for nuance. The president is a white nationalist terror leader. His supporters, all of them, are, by definition, white nationalist terror supporters. The MAGA hat is a KKK hood, and this evil racist scourge must be eradicated from society.
I am the eradicator.
Shut God, this guy sounds like he'd be a blast at cocktail parties, huh? I mean, jumping fucking Jesus, man, relax! So, this guy's just called millions of Americans, many of whom are black, brown, Asian, Indian, all of them white nationalists. Comparing the MAGA hat to a KKK hood, although it's not the first time I've heard it compared to that, sounds even more stupid hearing it this time coming from your mouth, Reza. People are already getting jumped, harassed, assaulted, and straight up beaten for wearing that hat by the fascists that every liberal, all of them, have become. You see what I did there, Reza, that my autocorrect keeps wanting to change your name to? Rats! I mean, how many times does this man have to denounce bigotry and white supremacy and hatred of all kinds?
As I said on Saturday, we condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America.
But I've rejected. How many times do I have to reject? I mean, how many times do I have to say it?
What do you think of white
times?
supremacists, by the way?
I don't like any group of hate. But I've said this before.
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
But I've said this before.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists.
And you were saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly?
No.
I just don't understand what you were saying.
No.
But I've said this before.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul.
But I've said this before. The press hates me to say it. They just don't want to pick it up.
Data inaccurate. Does not compute. Does not compute.
I mean, he couldn't be making it more clear. Unlike some people...
Will you condemn the Antifa attack in Washington over the weekend? It's easy to condemn terrorism. Will you condemn it?
Is it clear?
Will you condemn Antifa for the attack in Washington?
We'll be making statements.
It's easy to condemn a terrorist attack. Do you condemn Antifa for their violent actions against American law enforcement? Do you condemn Antifa?
What I'm condemning is a lack of journalistic integrity, and you're not respecting my physical space right now. And I'm going to ask you to step away.
But this isn't the first time we've seen these kind of double standards, folks. You remember the Trump mail bomber guy that everyone was blaming the president on? Well, just a year prior, some nutbah went and shot up the congressional baseball game, specifically targeting Republicans, nearly killing Steve Scalise because Bernie Sanders said that Republicans were going to kill his mother by taking away her health care.
The 1%.
No one blamed Bernie for that. And why the fuck would they? Here's the way I look at it. Since a mass shooting is defined as when 4 or more people are shot at once, it becomes a lot like comparing car crashes and plane crashes. Car crashes happen all the time, but rarely make more than the local news. But a plane crash makes all the headlines because so many people die at once, and it's a tragedy. But also like plane and car crashes, you are statistically much safer in a Walmart in El Paso than you are in Chicago! Because the very same weekend, while everyone was talking about white supremacy this and white supremacy that, 66 people were shot in Chicago alone, with 12 of them dying.
Data inaccurate. Does not compute. Does not compute.
The media lies. The media has been lying about Trump's comments over Charlottesville forever now. They've been lying about him being a racist. They've been lying about him being a white supremacist. They've been lying about dog whistles and talking in code and fucking numerology, for Christ's sakes.
So it's the little things and language and messaging that matters. The president said that we will fly our flags at half-mast until August 8th. That's 8/8. Now, I'm not going to imply that he did this deliberately, but I am using it as an example of the ignorance of the adversary that's being demonstrated by the White House. The numbers 8/8 are very significant in neo-Nazi and white supremacy movement. Why? Because the letter H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. And to them, the numbers 88 together stand for Heil Hitler. So we're going to be raising the flag back up at dusk on 8/8. No one's thinking about this.
Holy shit! What wall in a dank basement did they drag a beautiful mind here away from? Jesus Christ, no one is thinking about this because they aren't a crazy fucking nutbag! I don't even know about you, but I'm sick and fucking tired of being called a racist and a white supremacist, to the point where when I hear those words, my eyes fucking gloss over now, and I tune the fuck out. So, tune out and turn on here, folks, and be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe! Go for the ring, grab the bull by the horns, grab her by the pussy. And thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go take a nap.
We can't believe a word you say. Once we get this all chopped up, it'll look just like steak. You're a liar.
Come on, let's have a wiener roast. You need to build a fire. All you need is a roasted hot dog.
And my balls are on fire. Nub it! Yeah.